All right, welcome back. Um, in this section or in this part, I will be showing you how to find x-intercept and y-intercept of the equation, something like this, and another one as well. So for this one, to find the x-intercept, well, we know that at x-intercept y is 0, so let's first find x-intercept. Assume y 0. All right, so from this equation, y0, or basically you can replace this f of x by y. Whenever you see f of x, that means it's y. All right, so assume y0, so left hand side is 0, because we are assuming this 0, right? Y0 is equals to x minus 1 square minus 3. All right, so we are trying to find the value of x. So what we can do is just move this to other side, or basically just add 3 on both sides. So these two are gone. So basically on one side we get x minus 1 square is equals to positive 3, right? All right, so now if you remember, this is a square root property, right? So if we have m square or any square form on one side is equals to a number, then this side, if you're solving for m is equals to plus minus square root of a, right? Just to make this one easy, instead of saying 3, let's say 4. All right, let's say 4 here. Let's just replace this whole 3 by 4. All right. So now, yeah, this is 4. Now, so using this property, we have a square on one side, right? So then if you don't want square, if you want to get rid of square, then this x minus 1 is equals to plus minus, right? We have to consider plus minus case, square root of 4. And then x minus 1 is equals to plus minus square root of 4 is 2. All right, so after this, we are going to get two answers, right? One is x minus 1 is equals to positive 2. Another one is x minus 1, still x minus 1 is equals to negative 2. So from here, we get x is equals to 3. From here, add 1 on both sides. So x is equals to negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. All right, so since we are trying to find x-intercept and y-intercept, so we should write our final answer in a point form. So we know that, well, we just assumed up here y is 0. So from this answer, x you always write first. So x 3, comma 0, that's 1 point. Another point is negative 1, comma 0. All right, so this is how you can find. So these two are x-intercept. So if you're graphing this equation, you can also directly plot these 2 points to get the graph, just like we did in the previous lecture. So you don't have to basically make f of x table. Once you basically get this, you can just plot these points to get a graph. All right, and another one, we're also trying to find y-intercept. So y-intercept is x0, right? So from this equation, now we can assume x0, right? So y is equals to 0 minus 1 square minus 4. So y is equals to negative 1 square is positive minus 4. So y is negative 3. So for y, we're just going to get one answer. So once you change this to a point form, we said x is 0, so 0, comma, negative 3. All right, so we get another point. So again, if you want to plot, or if you want to make a graph, you can plot these points. All right, so next one, let's do this one. So this one, sorry, I have to write f of x in the front. X squared plus x minus 6. All right, so again, to find, let's say we want to find y-intercept, x is 0, right? So from this equation, I can replace this by y is equals to, we said x 0, so 0 square plus 0 minus 6, so y is just negative 6, right? So once you get y value, again, you can change this to a point form. So first is x, which is 0, negative 6. All right, so this is y-intercept point. Now to find x-intercept, y is 0. So again, from this one, now we're going to assume f of x. Basically, we can replace this with y. So y is 0, so left hand side is 0. 0 is equals to x squared plus x minus 6. All right, so now since we're trying to find x, right, so we have to solve this equation. So now to solve this equation, we know that we have to use, well, if you guys remember, we did AC method, right? So for AC method, A times C, right? So first we're going to do A times C, 6, and find the factors of 6. So 6 times 1, 3 times 2 is also 6, right? So once you get this, 0 is equals to the first term, x squared, and the last term is going to be the same. Now for this middle one, we have x, so it looks like I can use 3 and 2, right? So instead of writing x, I can write positive 3x and negative 2x, because positive 3x and negative 2x is still x. So these two are basically the same thing. Now after this, I can split this into two parts. 0 is equals to, from these two, I can factor out x. So the remaining terms is x plus 3. From these two, well, there is a minus, so we need to consider minus as well, right? So we have to factor out negative 2. So if you do that, the remaining terms we get is x plus 3, right? So again, from these two, I can now factor out this x plus 3, x plus 3. So x plus 3. And when you factor that out, the remaining terms is x minus 2. All right, so now this times this is equals to 0. So now from here, we get two answers. Either x plus 3 is equals to 0, or x minus 2 is equals to 0. So from here, x is equals to negative 3. From here, x is equals to positive 2, right? And again, since we are trying to find x-intercept, so again, you need to change this to a point form. So first one is always x, negative 3, comma 0, because y we said 0. And for this one, 2, comma 0. All right, so if you look this whole solutions, we found 3 points, right? So let's say if I ask you to graph this thing or this equation, well, we know 2 points, or basically we know 3 points, and to graph a quadratic function, we need a vertex as well, right? H comma k. So if you look my previous lecture video, I've explained how to get the h and k for these kind of equations, and once you get all of the points, then you can just graph the equation. So I don't know, I'm just making a random graph, which is like a parabola. So just look my previous video and try this on your own. All right, thank you so much.